Hello everyone, Shintobean here with some more Realms of Ruin content, and in this video we're going to be looking at the Kruleboyz faction and discussing all of the units and structures. So this is an overview of the units and upgrades they have. There are a total of 9 units you can summon from the Realm Gate. There are 4 Tier 1 units, 3 Tier 2 units, and actually only 2 Tier 3 units that show up on here, but there's actually one more that doesn't appear here, and that is because the Kruleboyz, which is normally a Tier 1 hero, can actually be upgraded into a Tier 3 hero, a mounted version, which we'll look at later. So let's start with Tier 1, looking at the heavy unit for the Kruleboyz, which is the Gut Rippers. There are 6 of these boys per squad. They cost 130 command, and they have an activated ability called Scare Tactics, which costs 30 Realmstone, which increases their attack and greatly decreases the attack of nearby enemy units, and also can provide detection. There's only one upgrade for them at Tier 2, and it's Serrated Stickers, which just increases their damage against ranged and monsters. Moving on to the Hobgrot Sliders. This is the Assault unit at Tier 1. There are 10 of these little guys per squad. It costs 120 command, and they have a whole lot of abilities and upgrades, as you can see. So, first of all, they have the Charge ability, which causes them to dash forward and engage an enemy unit. That's 60 command. And then they start off with the Barium ability, which is 25 Realmstone to plant a little mine, which will detonate and deal damage when enemies come near. And it has a pretty short cooldown, so you can use it pretty often. They also have the Slida Mob's passive ability, which was a little bit confusing, not too impactful, I don't think. I couldn't even figure out how it worked for the longest time because the description was not very clear. But I think how it works is there's a little bar that fills up as they kill enemies. And once that bar fills up, if you've lost a Hobgrot, then one will come back to reinforce or replace the lost Grot, apparently. I haven't even noticed it myself, but I hear that's how it works. As for the upgrades, you can upgrade the Mine with the Barium Bigger upgrade, increasing the damage. You can also replace the Mine ability with a Grenade with the Lobum ability, so you can choose between one of those two. In that case, they will throw a grenade which deals damage and slow enemies. Just be aware that they can't use these abilities in combat, which is the case for most of these activated abilities. And then at Tier 2, they have a Trained Stabba upgrade, which can increase their damage against heavy units, which they're already decent against. Moving on to the ranged unit for Tier 1, these are the Manskewer Bolt Boys. There are 5 of these guys per squad. They cost 140 command, and they start off with the Lie in Wait ability, which causes them to become hidden, gain a small movement speed boost, and then you can reveal them, at which point they gain increased damage output. And then at Tier 1, they have 2 upgrades you can choose from. The first one, Swamp Drenched Strings, simply increases their attack range and vision, or you can unlock a useful little movement ability called Overdare, which allows them to teleport to a location, and has a decently long range. But yeah, it's just an instant teleport, which you can use after you've used the Lie in Wait ability, so while they're hidden. And then at Tier 3, they get the Venom Dipped Bolts upgrade, which causes their attacks to deal poison damage over time. And then finally, we've got the Tier 1 hero, the Kruleboyz. This guy has 230 command and 30 Realmstone. He's got a charge ability and 2 other activated abilities. So all part of the plan, costs 50 Realmstone and gives all allied non-hero and monster units within range, so mostly just the infantry units, increased armor damage and speed, but it also causes them to take a little bit of burn damage. And then for 45 Realmstone, he can use the Hack-a-Swing, which damages and knocks back enemies within range. For the upgrades, he has a Tier 1 upgrade, Fight Like Mork, which just increases his health and damage. And then at Tier 3, you can upgrade him into the Tier 3 hero, mounted on a Great Gnash Tooth, which makes him quite a bit stronger. Moving on to Tier 2, we've got the Swampkala Shaman. This guy also has quite a few abilities and upgrades. He is a single heroic unit, costs 320 command and 120 Realmstone. And he starts off with the Summon Boggy Mist ability, which creates a mist surrounding the shaman that hides allied ground units. And then when they're revealed, they gain increased damage and attack speed. He also has the Swamp Elixir's passive ability, so when out of combat he can give a shield to a nearby allied unit, and I think the animation for that is just like this yellowish gas surrounding the unit. And then he's got 2 upgrades you can choose from at Tier 2. You can either choose Living Miasma, which increases his health and damage, or the Black Pit, which unlocks the ability of the same name. It's 120 Realmstone to summon a Quagmire that deals damage over time, and reduces enemy vision, also revealing hidden units. And then there's another upgrade you can get in addition to one of the 2 above, Lung Searing Gases, which at the time I made this video is mislabeled in the game. It says it's a Bastion upgrade, but it does increase the damage of the shaman's attack, which is also a ranged attack, by the way, and causes those attacks to slow. Moving on to the heavy unit for Tier 2, we've got the Marsh Krala Slogoth. So this one is 270 command and 80 Realm Stone. It can regenerate its health when outside of combat, just a passive ability. And it also comes with the Spot a Crew ability. So this one is 50 Realm Stone to just increase its vision and act as a detector. And it also has the Catching Nets ability. Now this is a very useful one. 100 Realm Stone to throw some nets that can stun and root up to 5 enemies in a target area. And then for the upgrades, you can either choose to give it the Flagellated Hide, which increases its defense against all attacks, or the Crew Drummer ability, which unlocks another passive ability, which will reinforce and reduce damage to nearby infantry units. So reinforce, of course, means if a unit has died in that unit, it comes back, so it's essentially a healer. So pretty useful support unit. And then we got the Ranged Artillery, the Beast Skewer Killbow at Tier 2. This is a 240 command and 50 Realm Stone. And for 85 Realm Stone, you can use the activated ability Skewered, which fires a bolt that damages and stuns enemies in the path. For the Tier 2 upgrades, we've got Swamp Gas Bolts, which causes the basic attacks from the Killbow to deal area damage and slow enemies. So pretty useful against hordes. Or you can increase its damage against heroes and monsters with the Guided by Morg upgrade. Moving on to Tier 3, we've got a powerful assault unit in the Break a Boss on Trogoth. This thing is 550 command and 220 Realm Stone. It has regeneration, so it regains HP when out of combat. And then for 120 command, it can use a powerful charge attack. And for 175 Realm Stone, you can activate the Break a Harness, which deals a small amount of damage to itself, but then causes it to slam the ground, knocking back and damaging enemies, and gain a boost to its damage output. Then we've got a Merc Nob with Belchabana. This is a heavy unit, just a single guy. He costs 500 command and 170 Realm Stone. And just one ability, Breath of the Mire Drakes, which costs 150 Realm Stone and damages and slows enemies in an area in front of the Merc Nob, and also creates an aura surrounding him that reveals enemies and shields allies. So pretty powerful single ability there. This one deals quite a bit of damage if the enemies aren't able to get out of the way. And then we've got the Killaboss on Nashtooth. So again, this is the upgraded version of the Killaboss. If you already have the Killaboss on the field when you upgrade it, then he'll just get on the mount, so you don't have to pay the very expensive cost of 660 command and 320 Realm Stone. For 120 command, he can use the Savage Hound charge attack, which does knockback to the first enemy hit. So the other abilities are the same, but all part of the plan costs 100 Realm Stone instead. So I'm not sure if the effect is more powerful. The description is the same. It just buffs all of your surrounding units. I think maybe it might have a larger radius or something, but I remember when I used it the one time, it did seem quite strong. And then he's also got the Hack-a-Swing for 45 Realm Stone. Alright, moving on to the structures. These are all mostly the same for each faction. They all have basically the same function, the same cost. They look different, obviously, and they have different names. But for the command post, it's called the Plotting Pit. It heals and reinforces nearby ally units, generates command, attacks and reveals nearby enemies. It's also invulnerable, so it can't actually be destroyed. But one thing I forgot to mention in the Stormcast video is that if you attack the enemy command post, that actually reduces their score, so you can win the game more quickly, although that's generally not a good idea unless you are already winning by quite a bit, because of course the command post can attack back. But if you control all of the victory points on the map and you just have a whole bunch of forces, you can send them to the enemy command post and finish off the game more quickly if your opponent hasn't surrendered already by that point. So we got the 3 upgrades, of course, unlocking the higher tiers and increasing your population cap. The one unique thing about the Kruleboyz command post is that after the final upgrade, you can use the Wretch ability for 250 Realm Stone, which summons this huge black swamp on the map, and then these giant tendrils come out and attack enemies within. So it's a pretty powerful ultimate ability. And then the defense structure is called the Swamp Kala's Bad Pot. So this one damages and reduces the vision of nearby enemies, and then you can upgrade it to make it effective against flying units. We've got the Grot Mine, which is the Harvest Bastion. And then the Swamp Kala's Good Pot is the Healing Bastion, which also increases your population cap, and when upgraded can allow you to summon extra units at the same time. And then the Vision Bastion is called the Grot Post, which also increases your command generation, and when upgraded can allow you to research an additional upgrade at the same time, and also give you a vision ability called Wasap. So those are all the units and structures for the Kruleboyz. So a lot of their units are not really the most durable, so they rely more on sneaky tactics and dirty tricks, which definitely fits the flavor of the Kruleboyz from the tabletop. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. And if you haven't checked out the other faction focus videos, be sure to do that as well. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.